Alright. Ready?
Yeah.
Do an intro.
Okay, so this is the introduction of episode 12 of TaviRadio SatAM. How am I doing so far?
You don't usually say that. Come on.
Okay, welcome to Taiwanese cast. We're gonna talk about Taiwanese products today. So it's about those bootlegs.
What bootlegs? Taiwan only produces real material.
That's not what our friend Mr. Honey Pooh Bear on Robert Kopp's motorcycle would like to say.
Hey, that's made in China.
Is it?
Taiwan is the real China. Oh, political.
Things are just not political. You're welcome to political cast. Today we're going to talk about how we can't impeach Donald Trump because Mike Pence is even worse. But anyway,
yeah. Okay.
welcome to another episode of TaviRadio SatAM. I'm your host, TaviRadio SatAM, followed by my co-host, Lycan Jones.
How's it going? What have you been up to lately?
I don't know. I'll tell you what I've not been up to.
Been masturbating?
Twice a day.
Let's stop, because it's weird, and no one does it but you.
I've eaten 3 heads of lettuce since Wednesday.
It's amazing. Good job.
No ranch. I'm going ranchless now, guys. I'm decided to kick the stuff.
I'm proud of you.
I've had a really rough ranch addiction. Beats Eats has had to deal with it. Yuri and Saber have had to talk to me. They had an intervention with me. Kisaragi almost took me over a bottle of ranch. And I've decided, I think it's about time I quit the stuff. So please put hashtag support Tavo in the comments to show your support for me and my ranch addiction and trying to kick it.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go. I'm glad you're kicking that ranch. It's too rich. And go with the light vinaigrette,
I'm trying to, evolve into
If I have to go thick, I'll go with a Russian or a Thousand Island dressing. Stuff that only really goes on sandwiches, really, because I can't. You know what it's like to put Thousand Island dressing on a salad? It's weird.
I remember back
or even I guess a French dressing is fine, but
French dressing's fine because that's actually made for salads.
yeah, but a Thousand Island dressing on on a salad is weird, man.
I've seen weirdos put Caesar dressing on the sandwich.
If it's a chicken Caesar, it's fine.
But it's just Caesar dressing on a ham sandwich.
Oh, hell no. Get out of here. Go to jail.
You know what's really whack? When people make those salads and they put ham bits in it.
Oh, like a chef salad?
Yeah, I think that's whack.
That's normal. That's like a Cobb or a chef salad. They do that.
Top salads don't put ham. They put more chicken or bacon. I don't mind bacon in a salad. Actually, it's kind of weird. But I'd much rather have a chicken Caesar.
Mm.
Maybe a light fruit salad. That's right.
The chef chop salad is the one with all the ham in it. You're right.
Steamed ham.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah. What salads do you enjoy the most, though?
I like the chicken Caesar personally. The Parmesan and the chicken. And it's really not a salad. If anything, it should probably belong in a tortilla roll. That's honestly that's a good lunch.
Where I work, they have an Italian salad. It's literally just I think it's a spring mix greens, and topped with salami, provolone, and pepperoncinis, and an Italian vinegar,
It's a salad. That sounds like a sandwich.
I know it's literally just an Italian Subway sub with. Just minus the bun.
Do you like your BMTs from Subway with ham or with turkey?
With ham, I like ham.
People have said the turkey is superior.
I'll be the judge of that.
I don't know. You can be like Beat City, who literally just only wants salami and bacon in a sandwich with shredded.
And when I was in Chicago, I went to a Subway.
And not a pork bellies or pot bellies.
Pot bellies is great, but I wanted
You wanted to eat fresh.
It was during the $5 footlong days.
When Jared's reign.
Yeah, whatever.
What, do you not like Jared? Come on.
I don't care. He was busted with all that pornography and was diddling kids. So.
All right, guys, let's see this death battle. True Attack. Bill Cosby versus Jared from Subway.
Oh.
The drink master or the fresh eater?
I'm done. Podcast is over. No, so I was at Subway, and I was waiting in line behind these guys, and these guys were I don't know if they wanted a sandwich, because the way that what they wanted, or this one guy was telling the lady behind the counter that he just wanted the meat. I don't know if he wanted like a handful of like Subway meat, or if he wanted like a sandwich with only meat in it, which you could do. But she's like, "Well, what do you want?" He's just like, I can't remember what sandwich he wanted, but he just wanted the meat. And it's
what kind of guy go to Subway and just say, "I want a cup of the meatballs"? Get a large cup. Just only give me
it's kind of like going to Subway and asking just for bread. It's weird.
That should be a thing, in my opinion, because they bake bread there.
Yeah, but
you should be able to ask them like, "Hey, can I get an Italian loaf?"
It's funny because I guess this one comedian in like the early 2000s and 90s, he had a bit where he went to a Subway and he asked for, where he saw like these ducks. He's just like, "Oh, these ducks look hungry. I should get him some bread." So he went to Subway, just like, "Oh, I just want the bread." Like, "Oh, I can't sell you the bread." "Well, it's not for me, it's for ducks." "Oh, in that case, it's free."
I think Subway should just sell bread by itself.
Do you realize that, if this man's story is to be believed, he went into a Subway, told him he just wanted bread. They said, "No, we can't sell you the bread by itself." And then said, "Oh, it's for some ducks," and they gave it to him. In that case, it's free. What is the logic?
I would not give away free bread to ducks. Ducks are the bane of my existence. I've been trying to fight Howard for years.
Good luck.
Good luck. I'm tired of what's his face, the doghead from Star Fox.
General Pepper. Okay, do you realize that there are two characters in that game?
Peppy Hare and General Pepper.
Yeah, whose names are sounding like.
Why couldn't he be called Sergeant Pepper?
Man, I wonder if that one dude's still doing more episodes of Fox in Space.
It's a work in progress.
I know, he's only done one episode.
I've watched a few of his streams, and first of all, that first episode is full length.
I know, but it's so good though.
It's so good, but
I wish Adult Swim would pick it up.
Honestly,
okay. Speaking of Nintendo adaptations and video game news, how do you feel about Nintendo saying that Illumination's going to do their Mario movie?
With how good Nintendo's own CGI is, why can't they just make their own Mario Brothers movie? Honestly, some people would argue movie CGI looks a lot better than even the best in-game CGI. BS. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Pixar, yes. I think Pixar is just the king.
It depends on the studio. Certain studios get away with it by keeping it stylized. Like Pixar has been trying to get more. I mean, they're stylized, but they still have you
have to remember, Pixar's the one who makes the Overwatch CG shorts.
Pixar does the Overwatch CG. That makes sense. Why it looks. You're kidding me.
No, look it up.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Why do you think it looks so good?
Wow.
Impressive. It's just I don't know,
Jeff Kaplan, you should slum it. Let someone like Blue Sky take care of it.
No, let's give it to those Chinese guys. Come on, let's give it to the guys who made North of the North.
Oh my god, no.
Let's get Rob Schneider in Overwatch. Can we get a petition?
Can he be the new voice of Soldier 76?
What would he sound like?
Step right up. Oh wait, wrong character.
Can we get Johnson John a job again?
Yeah, let's let him do all the voices in Overwatch.
I would.
Let's get Duke Nukem voice packs and replace all Overwatch characters with Duke Nukem. Just hand John St. John royalty checks.
Or they should just put Bid the Cat in more games again.
Yeah.
There was a Duke Nukem HD Duke Nukem HD thing that came out recently.
Oh, was that?
It was Duke Nukem 3D. People said it was okay. But
not bad.
The old Dudester after Duke Nukem, what was it? The new one, that one that came out years ago. It's been
forever.
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever. It's been forever.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years since that game came out.
It's because that game after the opening level just falls apart hard.
It does. It's like that one time I played Brink and I showed the beats and he was just like, "What is this?" But anyway, that was more of the introduction to the podcast. Let's move on to our first topic.
What we did news. I got a Nigri update.
Ooh, to the intro.
Okay. So, Nigri update. So, did you hear that on Verve, because they have a collaboration with Rooster Teeth, they released an original Rooster Teeth documentary, Becoming Jessica Nigri. I haven't watched it yet. I've seen the trailer for it, and I've read someone's summary of it. So who knows how accurate this is? I mean, again, people
Hate Nigri.
People have a hate boner for her. People have a real boner for her. So
Some people don't know the difference.
Yeah,
Like Turumo, does he really hate Momo-kun, or does he just want to bone Momo-kun? That's not a good idea. Never mind. Swine on swine action isn't what I want to see.
Oh, gross. Okay. Well, people relate Momo-kun more to cows than they do to swine. Raya.
I don't know. Cows is too complimentary.
Anyways.
She's a good-for-nothing, dirty old swine from just like Turumo.
She's not big enough. She's not short enough to be a swine. She's... well, anyway, we're not talking about Momo-kun. Anyway, so... Based on some of the summaries and reviews I've read about it, mostly from biased sources against her, it sounds like the whole documentary, which you could kind of tell from...
Well, because Rooster's friends with her, they're gonna...
I know, well, I'm getting there. Mostly from the trailer, and I guess like people's first impressions of it confirmed this. It's all hagiography, in that it's all meant to like
make it look good.
Oh yeah, it's all meant to like. I mean, well, I don't know if you know what the phrase or what the word hagiography means, but essentially, is like hagiography is what people write about the saints in like Christian culture and like Christian religion. You know, just like Saint so and so was so good he carried baby Jesus across a river and didn't know it was baby Jesus. He thought it was some random baby trying to cross a river. Jesus.
That's one of my ancestors you're talking about. I feel offensive to that.
Saint Christopher?
Yeah, he was one of the first faces to ever walk the earth. He ate a lot of people.
That's not what the Bible wrote about him.
The Bible's wrong. I learned this in ethnics classes. You know, I'm a very educated man now.
Well, anyways, so this whole documentary is pretty much meant to like document her trying to like get ready for a Comic-Con and do this big build, which I immediately laughed at because...
Ooh, big build. What's this, your retreat?
No, it's some other like Blizzard related one. It's for like it's for some big convention. She's trying to build some like boob armor thing, obviously.
Probably the Roadhog. It's probably the...
It's not the Roadhog. It's something that hasn't been shown on... Or maybe it has been shown. It might be like... I can't remember which one.
Probably Farah.
But it's not an Overwatch one. It's like a... It's like a... I think it's a Warcraft one or something like that. Anyway, something that involves like armor and like big complicated like thing. So... it documents that, interviews her about like her early life, living like being born in New Zealand and moving to the U.S. and when she was in middle school, being mocked for having a New Zealand accent, which I believe, but also being mocked for having nerdy interests.
Is it sad that whenever someone says New Zealand, I think about that one part in the Knuckles theme song where it's like, born on an island for the heavens. I mean, I don't know why, but I think about New Zealand whenever I think about that song.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Is Nigri's Knuckles?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Are we all Knuckles?
Well, maybe.
You're the Knuckles or Sonic. Depends if you chuckle or not.
I chuckle too much.
You're Sonic. You gotta get out of here.
Sonic Boom's on Hulu, by the way.
Finally, something good on Hulu.
Oh, come on. I've been working through Adventure Time. That show, we don't give that show enough credit, man. They go to places that are like really dark and weird.
But Sonic Boom goes to places that are really weird and dark too.
It does, and I love it. That's why it's the best Sonic show.
Sonic, spicy. Yeah, I don't really care about that. No.
It's people like it. I don't really care for it. But I think that episode was like one big jab at Chris Chan, by the way, because that Anteater character had classic Chris Chan glasses.
It would have been too real if like it had like a Sonic medallion.
Yeah, I think.
Or had the striped shirt.
I think he does have a striped shirt though, or a polo. I think some of the writers on Sonic Boom have tweeted about one day maybe being able to like sneak in a Sonic Shoe reference.
Yeah, but Chris would sue them because that's copyrighted apparently.
Here's the thing: his copyright won't stand in court for a second.
Yeah, I got copyright right here. He pulls up this like crayon drawn
No, he does have it copyrighted, but the people who copyrighted don't realize, like, just have no idea what this is. Anyways,
so you want to copyright the Sonichu and Rosachu character? Yes. Yes.
May I see them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, donate to my Patreon.
He's slacking on that too.
God damn it! I donated $10 to you. No, just I would never.
He's trying to sell his Pokemon cards to pay for his mom's dental bills, apparently.
Oh, big man. Wait, he sold his Pokemon cards to pay for his mom's dental bill?
He's trying to.
Is it an act of selflessness? Should we applaud him?
I don't know.
Or should we just
he's been asking for donations too, like to get just groceries. That was weeks ago. That was months ago now.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, okay, so the documentary. So yeah, it's pretty much like, yeah, it's about her early life. I mean, it's a documentary. It's all about like it's a biography essentially, like showing how great and how much Nigri has
Just
struggles
Nigri.
and struggles.
What struggles?
Oh, well, you know, moving from New Zealand to the U.S. when she was a middle schooler, being made fun of for her goofy accent, which is fair. Being made fun of because bullied relentlessly because of her nerdy interests in anime and stuff.
Well, like, you're roughly around her age. She's also slightly older than you, right?
Everyone fucking loved Pokemon when we were that age, so I don't know what she's on about.
Everyone loved Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball.
Okay, nobody like Yu-Gi-Oh was like a very small niche thing.
Dragon Ball?
She liked Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
She's not a real Dragon Ball fan.
You cannot hate Dragon Ball Z when you just hear that, like, intro of the OG Funimation, Rocket Dragon. Or even Chala.
Well, but again, like, these are all, like, mainstream anime interests. When she says she likes Rurouni Kenshin and stuff like that, then I'll believe her. But
I'm not sure if that's supposed to even like Rurouni Kenshin anymore.
Again, it's another situation of, like, this person did a horrible thing. It's you won't be able to enjoy the thing.
And you were a big fan.
I know it. Well, I haven't watched it in years, so.
But
I was a huge fan. Well, anyways, let me finish about this thing. Okay, so it's pretty much just like, and it's like this one big like building her up to show how hard she works out, how she struggled in her life. You know, she about how she was bullied in like high school and middle school for having nerdy interests. About how the big thing that made her like even known in the first place, which is her sexy Pikachu, the thing that put her on the map. It made her internet famous or viral for the first time. Was just a joke, and then that blew up, and then being like, winning that lollipop chainsaw competition, which was, come on. That was hardly competition. You were already famous by the time that thing came out, so you were the obvious pick. Although, like, watching back when I used to watch video games, awesome. When Fraser,
that?
I know when Fraser when that competition came out, Fraser saw it. He was not impressed with Jessica Nigri. And he'd known about her, but only that here's that famous sexy cosplayer. But I think this girl is more deserving because she actually went hard on the paint with, like, everything. Like, she tried to, like, even do the voice, and Nigri does not. She's like,
I got my boobs contoured.
Yeah, and pushed up.
Give me the money.
They talk about, like, people criticizing, her, and I guess, like, saying they're all wrong. Complaining about she complains about doing cosplay in the thing, but she's vindicated because it shows how hard she works. I mean, I'm going by a summary. I haven't watched it. I don't really care about watching it, but like, I can kind of get a good idea.
Hey, I watched the Thinning. Just to see if Logan Paul can be validated as a sort of decent actor.
None of that matters anymore because the man is a racist and because he throws Pokeballs at like Japanese people.
He left an octopus on some poor guy's taxi. He's like, I'm done with these. And the taxi drove off and the cameraman.
You know what's funny? Like, I think because of how we talk about Asian cultures, you know, the cheapness of China, the weirdness of Japan, I think it kind of validates
China and the Chinese chicken.
Well, yeah.
Jump stitch and your brain starts stitching.
I'm just saying that, like, I think stuff like that vindicates, like, racism towards Asian cultures because it's just like whatever, they're weird. I mean, which is
they're just businessmen. Honestly, like Logan, you're the weirdo around there. These are people literally just doing their job.
I think,
yeah, sure. Akihabara is full of a bunch of weirdos, but they're weirdos who are
weird in their own culture.
They're weirdos in their own culture. You are just a blatant, very bad exaggeration of what you think it should be. Anime is a very bad example. Has corrupted our culture. Hayao Miyazaki was right the whole time.
He wasn't wrong, but I'm more of an Isao Takahata fan, anyways.
Then Miyazaki.
You know, I'll finish this tangent before we go into another thing. So, yeah, I mean, the documentary is...
If they put it on YouTube, right, I'll give it a watch.
It's on Verve, so if you have Verve...
Who the hell has Verve?
I do.
You? Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I watch my brother and me, and I've finished watching Bee and Puppy Cat. But having the app sucks on your TV because you don't have access to everything, which is fine because I don't need to watch fucking Harmon Quest. Yeah, I have a problem with as I said before, I have a problem with Dan Harmon. I mean, his shows are good.
You have a problem with Dan Schneider?
We're not gonna go into this, man. Is this the topic for this week? We're gonna talk about Dan. We're gonna talk about N-Boy 97.
Listen, we're talking about that, but at the same time, I got a message to make out to my guy, Little Pump. I'm happy that he finally got to meet iCarly, though. Do you know the saga? He's like, he tweeted out, man, I want to fuck iCarly.
My god.
And then he sent out another tweet, he's like, hey, iCarly, baked you a cake. And then the third tweet was him hanging out with Miranda Cosgrove. Like, I finally did it, boys.
I don't like this.
Do you like this saga?
No.
By the way, for context, Little Pump is the dude who made Gucci Gang.
I know.
Which is, again, a cover, which used the beat of another Migos, way better Migos song.
Oh, Migos is better 100% though, so.
Exactly.
Alright, so that's a Nigri update. The documentary is pretty much like... It's just a big suck up to her, which doesn't surprise me because, you know, I mean...
Rooster Teeth, come on, cockbiter.
The insult cockbite is a reference to that.
That's true. But anyway, Momo-kun update. Turmo tweeted out, oof, when he saw a picture of her really whack Roadhog. That's done with the update.
Okay. That's one update within this update, because I'm one last thing to top off this update. How do you feel about when, like, do you think, how does that, okay, Nigri update's over. I want to talk about. I'm switching it over to a little bit of Rooster Teeth talk. Let's talk cocks. Let's talk cocks. Let's talk teeth. Cockbite talk.
I got a lot of opinions on those boys.
Just a little quick thing. So with this Jessica Nigri documentary that they made, like it's all about like pretty much sucking up to her, just pretty much sucking her giant dick.
I don't understand why, because Rooster Teeth is way more recognizable than her.
But at the
why can't Rooster Teeth?
But within the cosplay community, she's huge.
No, I don't understand.
She's like, I mean,
if Rooster Teeth is in a suck in screw attack, why can't they just suck in the Mega 64 boys?
Because Mega 64 and them have had this fake rivalry for years, and if they get absorbed in the Rooster Teeth, then their fans will have a field day.
Plus, I think Rocco will never allow it.
No, heck no. Rocco
Bernie would be like, Rocco, here's a case of $2 million cash.
You want to live till tomorrow, Bernie?
Get this out of my face, Bernie.
But it's a lot of money. You know what else is a lot of money? Your life, and I could destroy that very quickly. Actually, you know, let me accept it. I take it back. Let me accept this case. Oh, thank God, Rocco. What are you doing? It's $1,000, you motherfucker.
I don't care.
What a shame.
What a shame. Not too big into boats.
Oh, you're gonna burn all right.
Oh, you're gonna burn all right.
I don't know. Maybe Sean could probably use the money because he's a dad and actually has.
Sean has 5 kids.
Sean is an actual father and has a family. He has things to like take care of, so maybe he could use the money. But Derek and Rocco have nothing to lose, except Derek's.
What about Garrett?
Garrett quit his Did Garrett finally quit his real job to work with Make 64?
I think he has.
Oh, Garrett!
I just wish they'd actually put out more projects other than just podcasts
or streams.
Oh, what's this? Tav is criticizing someone for putting out a lot of podcasts instead of more content.
To be fair, I don't know.
To be fair, this channel is a big homage to Med 64. Come on. Meal Boy, Rocco the Food Guy.
Yeah, you based an entire series based off like only 2 or 3 episodes that he did of one thing.
Do you guys want to know something?
Also, Rocco the Food Guy's on his personal channel, not Mag 64.
Exactly. Do you want to know the real history of Meal Boy? I was actually inspired just by the 2 episodes that Rocco did of like pizza, of like the YouTuber Pizza Hut thing.
Yeah.
I literally thought like, what's a good like reverse of Food Guy? Meal Boy.
Yeah.
And that's honestly how the title was born.
The end. Okay, but
Rocco the OG Meal Boy.
But yeah, he is. But you've mentioned that before. But anyway, so
I just want him to acknowledge me.
Okay, so Rooster Teeth. How do you feel, like, just about them even making a documentary about like
First of all,
America's cosplay sweetheart?
It's really weird because I know they're friends with Nigri. They have been, but at the same time,
she's the voice of Cinder.
Yeah. But anyway, you mean Saber's favorite character?
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure Saber hates Nigri anyway. I don't know. I never asked Saber. I know he's just like someone.
I'm not big in the books.
I know he saw I know he saw a moment when he's just like, I don't get it. It's just a fat chick.
That's still my favorite reaction. But go on.
But anyway, see, it's really weird that they would put it out if like some no-name guy who like opened up a Kickstarter for it actually ended up doing it. Then I'd be like, that's cool of you, I guess. But
here's the thing: it wouldn't.
The fact that Rooster Teeth put in the resources and did this themselves was just like, why?
Oh, it's because
you guys don't have to do this.
All right, one, it actually makes sense for Rooster Teeth to do it because one, they're friends with Nigri, like we established. 2, Nigri would not allow some other like third party to come in.
You even think some fanboy who has way too much time ready to spend on her would be like, Miss Nigri, I raised $50,000. I want to do a
If it's not,
review.
she won't do it if it's not a name. This is honestly like a money making scheme and a way to like vindicate who she is. Like makes again.
I wonder if Vader Noodles will do her documentary. She should let you do the documentary.
She doesn't know who I am.
What's her real name again?
Oh, Natasha Ardman Klug.
Invader Noodles.
Okay, quick Invader Noodles update. You're gonna have to make a fucking new title card for this. So as I mentioned before, her going nude doubled her Patreon income to $7,000 to almost like $8,000.
Jesus.
She's 400. Like she's now back down to like $4,000, like 4,700. After like the brief impact, so that brief little like.
Did we do something?
I hope.
Honestly, we finally mentioned her. I've been stalking her Instagram to see if she's caught on.
No.
We didn't put her in the tags, as you know. Your boy don't tag.
Yeah.
If I did, then they'll probably catch your eye.
Anyways, so yeah, that's a brief update right there. But yeah, I mean, the only reason Mixie4 even did it because one, they know she's like huge in the cosplay community. Well, I mean,
if anything,
okay, she's not huge in the cosplay community. She's a huge blight on the community. 2, but at the same time, she's like been on the covers of Cosplay magazine, which kind of sucks. 3, it's pretty much like this documentary is like the biggest circle jerk that Rooster Teeth has put out.
Listen up, I already don't approve of like a lot of things Rooster Teeth does business wise because I'm not gonna lie, guys. I wanted to make a video on this, and I'm waiting for Art System Works to make bigger news about this. But the whole DLC thing, that has to be purely a Rooster Teeth type of deal with them. Because honestly, I don't think Art System Works would release a game with only 20 characters and then say 20 more DLC. I'm pretty sure they would delay the game and give it till like maybe they have everything complete. Maybe
Yeah.
have like a set of like 5 DLC characters, but I don't think they do 20. So this is honestly just a Rooster Teeth type of thing.
But anyway, so I mean, it is a giant circle jerk because one, you have a character who, I mean, you on one hand, sorry, not a character. On one hand, you have a company who has been behind this cosplayer, who's included her in their videos, and to the point where like I think they did like they had like a little I think they did like a stream or a Q&A where they talked about Ruby, and Jessica was there in a cosplay of like I think Cinder, and she never said anything.
First of all, just Nigri's not even that good of a voice actress anyway.
Two, she's not even that big of a nerd. Like anything that she
well,
cosplays
I love
it.
Pokemon. The biggest nerd would be like, "Have you guys seen Yu Yu Hakusho?" and then tell you the whole plot synopsis, and then
Or talk about Pokemon, but the current gen, as opposed to I like Pikachu. He's my favorite.
the real nerd girl would be like, "I like current generation, but there's also a lot of issues. For example, I don't like the Sun evolutions of certain things." That'd be the real nerd.
Can we talk about the Mega Evolution Mewtwo? Why can't they just name him Mew3? Like
U3.
Mew3, like
Because they don't want to give in to the fans.
exactly.
Remember when? I'm not sure you. I would love to have an episode where we talk about bootleg items, so I'm gonna save that for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, can we transition?
All right, so that's enough about that. I just think that this whole Nigri thing was a big circle jerk. It's Rooster Teeth banking on probably the most famous cosplayer, at least mainstream one.
I want to leave this.
It's the equivalent of like your best friend from high school making a tribute video to their best friend, to you. You know, it's like, or it's like.
What was Road's situation then?
Is that a tribute?
No, that's just a documentary of one of my friends going insane.
Which you can have, by the way. I've actually re-edited
Okay.
to like make it to be re-uploaded.
Sick.
All right.
By the time they hear this, it's going to be re-uploaded anyway.
Okay. So
Anyway,
let's talk about.
No, I want to leave one last question. This is going to be the question of the podcast. Who is the Vegeta to Nigri's Goku? The Naruto to Sasuke? Or vice versa? Who is that?
Good question. I can't wait to hear the answers.
So comment below.
All right. Let's talk about N-Boy. N-Boy.
And Boy97. Yep.
Oh, let me get my drink for this. Hold on.
Lycan Jones drinking his sparkling cherry water.
Oh yeah.
Is it cherry or just
Cherry lime.
cherry lime, raspberry lime water? Anyway, he's
Rip milf hunting cherry boy.
anyway.
All right.
And Boy97, I've talked to him about many times. I've actually talked to him today because he has a few items of mine. I've honestly asked him like, "Can I take those back?" And he's like, "Can I buy it off $20?" I'm like, "No, you're kidding me. This cost me like $70."
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have $20 for friends, aren't we?
Literally,
We're
his
friends.
excuse.
We're friends, aren't we?
So, I've mentioned him many times on the podcast, and I got a lot of stories of him. But I got to think about the ones I haven't mentioned.
All right. So we've talked about his crying fit in Jack in the Box, his walking out of Batman v Superman and Civil War because he didn't get it.
Batman v Superman's understandable.
Civil War. What the fuck is the matter with you? So what?
Are you crazy? Out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
Are you gonna talk about the time he didn't show up to your friend's birthday party, even though he was right across the street visiting
Okay.
his underage girlfriend?
Okay, let's talk about this. Don't call the police on us. You don't even know where we are. And this is old news anyway. This is like 2 years ago. This is honestly like a year ago. All right, so it was the graduation birthday party of our good friend Alfredus. I'll give you that context. So he's a sweet young boy. He may be wearing that fedora nowadays, but it's not his fault.
Right.
So Boy said he'd come, and during this time he was like in his weird depression lull of not having a job and just being fat around his house. So the way we threw this party was it was a family party, but we were invited, and this was at a big park. Boy happened to live literally right around the corner from the park, and because Alfredus wanted to see him and wanted to hang out with him, it was his birthday party and graduation thing. he went over to we went over to his house to get him. His dad opens the door and like literally his dad like he lets us in. He's like, you guys can try to wake him up. We've been trying to do that for like a good hour.
What the fuck?
So we literally like knocked on his door and boy's like, what? He's like, what? I'm like, it's us. We want to hang out. He's like, okay, give me a minute. So we wait 15 minutes outside his house. And he literally comes out and is like, he looks like he just woke up. So that's fair. He comes out in like his basketball shorts and like his shirts that's too small or something. He's just like, what do you guys want? I'm like, well, you said you'd be at his party. Like, yeah, give me like half an hour. I'm gonna shower. I'm like, okay. So we walk over to his party. We're talking, hanging out. We see that fool roll up in like his dad's truck, and we're like, oh man, he's here. And we see him go straight across the street because that's where his underage girlfriend was like lives. And we're literally just like, so what's going on? And Alfredo's just sitting there like, what the heck? So he literally goes into the house. 10 minutes later, he walks out and is with his girlfriend. We decided like, all right, let's confront him. We're by his car. We're like, what happened? We're like, what's going on, man? He's like, nothing. I'm going on a date. He's like, but you thought you'd be at the party. He's like, I'll make it up to you. I'll invite you to lunch some other day. So he pretty much he rolls up the window and then he speeds off. And boy has still not taking Alfredus out for his lunch date.
Evil.
What a cuck. If it makes you guys feel better, actually no, I'll tell you how much more of a scum he is. This fool
steals pineapples.
Okay, this is a high school thing. So he was such a cuck that his mom would buy pineapples for the family. He liked pineapples. He would steal the pineapple and just put it in his room. He'd have like a pineapple plate and knife ready to go. And then he'd take it to school and be like, hey, do you want these pineapples? My mom just got it fresh the other day. I'm like, what the heck? I don't want your pineapples. And you tell me like, I usually take the pineapples to my room. And whenever I come over, there'd be the pineapple in like the corner of the room. I'm like, what is your problem?
I like pineapples. They're real meat.
He's also sad, man, because like, I don't know. Anyway,
he wouldn't be so sad if he made an effort to be a good person.
He's not a good person. He claims he likes to say like I'm the best. He's like I'm a really good person, but in reality he's not.
So he's like the Donald Trump of your friends.
Yeah. And then he'd try to make you look like the bad person. Like anytime we're talking, he'd be like, let me guess, he'd we'd be talking, he'd like leave the conversation. He'd be silent for a minute. He'd be like, did you really? He's like, you voted for Donald Trump, huh? I'm like, what the heck is your problem? What did that have to do with the previous conversation?
I didn't vote for you, and boy.
I'm not gonna vote for him at all. But anyway, here's a real stummy thing he's done. So, during high school, and between now and this like thing of like we're kind of all in college or like it's post high school, he's gained a exuberant amount of weight, sadly. And this makes like Joe's laugh. Go on. And so get this scumbag dumps his current girlfriend because he thinks that she's gotten fat. When this fat sack of shit's coming over to my house, and he's literally like, okay, he literally come over to my house because he'd be like, can I sleep here? I'm trying to like hide out. I'm trying to hide out for a good couple hours. He did that.
The actual fuck.
And I told him like, no, go do something else with your life. He's like, fine. And then he just like storm off, get back in his car, and like literally walking behind. I see his jeans just straining. I'm like, oh my god. I'm a feeling the minute he bends down, the ham's gonna come out. Listen, guys, I'm a large man too, but honestly,
I'm probably within my pant size.
At least I'm within my pant size. And first of all, he used to be such a big health nut. He'd like to go to the gym. He'd like to be like healthy. But honestly, I think somewhere along like senior year, he just started buying little $5.99 Little Caesar pizzas, like 2 of them. Eat them by himself with like his 2-liter Mountain Dew that he'd buy from like the Dollar General. His tequila. You want to tell a story? You want to tell a story or like your little quick thing, your encounter with him?
All right, so I went to. Was it your birthday party or your graduation?
Both, because it happens around the same time.
All right, so I went to his birthday / graduation party of Tavs. And I came over and I was asked to bring sodas, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go get some, because they ran out. And I asked, which ones do you want? And I think they wanted Coke or something, but then Envoy was just like,
Pepsi said, "Which new generation?"
I like Pepsi, because it's my beers. And I thought
but you know the reason why? Envoy loves Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson did a Pepsi commercial where it's like, it's the new generation way or something. I forget how it goes. And literally, he was in this Michael Jackson phase, like quote.
Yeah.
And so pretty much, you go and get him a 6-pack of like Pepsi things.
I do. So I go to the store and I get him, and I decide, I got some.
You'll humor him.
I'll humor him. I'll get him a 6-pack, and then I come back and he's like, here you go, man. Here's your beers. And he's like, oh man, dude, should I pay you back or something? It's like, no, man, it's cool. This is on me.
By the way, the reason why also another funny thing about Amboy, he talks in this really weird accent. He's Latino. He's like Hispanic. He's Mexican, but he talks in like this really weird, like not Mexican accent.
Yeah, he sounds vaguely like somebody trying to do a really bad Russian accent.
But I think what inspires is the fact that his favorite movie is Borat. He loves Borat and Bruno.
Oh.
But then he didn't go see Sacha Baron Cohen's other movie, which was like the twin one. He's a cook.
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm pretty sure everybody has a friend like Amboy.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
But I'm pretty sure Deer Simulator had one.
No, Deer Simulator had good friends. You're the only one who's had cucks for friends. Okay, I take that back. I've had friends who...
Your friend made your cat feisty.
He's not a friend, he's an old roommate.
Your old roommate made your cat feisty.
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm talking about like school friends.
Nice, I don't want to talk about it. Shell, do you want to move on?
Grumio Senpai, this is for you.
One of those boys. I think it was Grumio or Dangeruni.
No, it's Grumio.
It was Grumio? Okay.
This is for you, dude. We just wanted to talk about JoJo. We're going to talk about JoJo. I'm going to ask Tab 5 questions about JoJo, but it's not about JoJo the
series in general.
The series in general, or even the four anime series that have come out. It's about the Forbidden series, the forbidden part.
This
5.
This is as you can say, it says golden as a Zodia.
Yeah, well, I said it was part 5, so there's 5 questions about part 5. All right, question number 1. Let me check my notes here.
That's a bowl of oats. While you ruffling through a bowl of oats. Why are you rustling through a bowl of oats right now?
Shut up! I know what I'm doing. All right, question 1. Do you realize how ridiculous? I mean, even by JoJo standards, do you realize how ridiculous the Mafia is in Vento Audio?
It's stupid. Also, for some reason, Giorno has a really bad misconception of what the Mafia is and what it wants to be. He thinks mafiosos are Robin Hood's characters.
Classically, he says they are.
But at the same time,
But they've been corrupted by drugs.
But, Giorno, if you do your history lesson, you'd know that mafiosos always been kind of bad. He's like, no, but I want to bring...
I think Giorno watched The Godfather once and then said, yeah, they shouldn't be doing drugs.
I think Giorno didn't watch the other parts.
Do you mean the parts where Marlon Brando's character is played by Robert De Niro in flashbacks and is about his rise to becoming a Don, and while his son in the present, played by Al Pacino.
Never mind. I think he didn't understand the message of the first. I think he watched too many of the Godfather trilogies.
Yeah, I think he just watched the. I just think he watched like the popular culture version of it, which is weird because most of it's like literally like not very like, I mean, it's cool, but they never shy away from the fact that it's like they're bad people.
But he never did that sandwich, and they never regretted.
It's kind of like how gangster rap culture glorifies the movie Scarface because they don't understand the character arc in that. Like they think
Scarface is down on his luck at the end of it.
well, he's reached it all, but like it's all going to hell because he's fucked it all up. And the whole point is like I was gonna call him Garbage Face.
I thought you were about to call him Garfield. Scarface.
No, Scarface is all about the rise and fall of a man who just wants too much.
You mean the rise and fall of just Al Pacino in general?
Yeah. Whereas like gangster rap culture is like, yeah, man, we all gotta reach the level of Scarface and go out like gangsters. It's like, no.
No.
It's not about like how cool this guy is. It's about how what a piece of shit he is.
It's funny because that saying now is people like I have a coworker at work and he said this. Other than the fact that if you buy yourself a Little Caesar pizza and eat that by yourself, you are hating yourself. And he also said this: if you die, you get all the clout when you die. You get so much clout when you die. That's what he said.
Unless you're like a fucking child murderer or murderer in general.
Then you don't get clout. But if you were famous, you get pretty much all the clout. Everything's pretty much not written. For example, ever since Elvis died, how come no one talks about the fact that how he died on the toilet?
And it's still debatable.
How come Elvis and Michael Jackson have all this clout?
Yeah, I mean, we all build up Michael Jackson nowadays. I mean, we all forget about the child allegations.
Allegations, that's a strong word.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, like, a lot of people have come forward just like, yeah, he was a fucking weirdo. I mean, but then people always say, like, well, you know, he had a hard childhood. Dude's trying to regain his childhood. What kind of motherfucker tries to regain his childhood by inviting a bunch of kids to his weird, creepy theme park and sleeping in beds with them?
Ugh.
Would you get into bed with Michael Jackson?
No.
Even if it was platonic?
No. Actually, maybe. I wouldn't have a pillow talk with him. I'd just tell him, like, alright, you turn the other way around. I turn the other way around.
But if you're a kid and just like... Oh.
Probably as a kid. Maybe as a kid, because he's...
I don't know, man.
Kid, if he put up a good, like...
But that's exactly why he did it, though. Like, he probably thought, like, these kids don't know any better.
These stupid kids did not tell the difference. But anyway, I don't know, like...
Alright,
my character's like Biggie and Tupac. They're just in the wrong crowd. They're just in the wrong crowd.
Okay, so you think Diavolo's gonna have all the clout that he's dying off 100 times forever?
No, because he was scum. Luckily for him, he's not a man.
Okay, but so what do you think about the way Iraqi stylized the mafia, though?
God, I wish mafiosos were like that nowadays.
Look at us. Here's my thing.
Italian mafia, like even then, they're pretty gaudy. Because, you know, the mafia, they got the money.
I mean, like, aside from the JoJo-fied outfits, but, like, I mean, the only reason these guys, I think, are even in power is because they have stands. I mean, honestly, having a stand is required to be part of Passione.
Yeah. Also, how come Part 5 just ignores Toichi?
Well, he's there for, like, a second.
Giorno literally just jacks from him.
Oh, well, because, I mean, it's all about Giorno's bizarre adventure.
Giorno is... Well, more like Bruno's bizarre adventure.
Okay, second question. Can we talk about how much of, like, a family Bruno's portion of, like, mini gang within the gang it is? Like, the fact that Bruno and Abbacchio are essentially mom and dad to a bunch of kids.
Giorno, Narancia, and like Mista.
They're all a bunch of dumb kids.
I mean, you could argue
the only smart ones are Abbacchio and Bruno.
You could also argue Fugo. But he left.
Fugo is smart enough to leave.
He's
I'm
out of here.
But also Rocky realized that, like, if I have Fugo on here, he's too overpowered to add challenge. So he's just like, I'm out of here.
He Nixoned.
Yeah, he Nixoned out. But
he went to Euro Disneyland.
But how do you feel about that assessment that essentially, like, Bruno and Abbacchio are...
Even Trish joining later, it's still the same thing.
Do you think Trish, like, what do you think of Trish's role in the gang? Like, what do you think she adds to it, aside from I'm the girl?
I I like the fact that Araki tried her best with her because Araki said himself he sucks at writing women.
Which is why he did part 6 is all women mostly.
Part 6 was all women. Trish was a good step up because she's not like freaking. She is not like Jolene or what's her face.
But at the same time, but
Trish is
Hermes?
still pretty. She's not like Hermes or Jolene level of like complex or even Foo Fighter. Of like
Foo was pretty complex.
But like Trish still, I like the fact that Trish went from damsel to distress as like a strong character. I mean, she
has a good arc. Yeah,
she saved herself from Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the only
Also Spice Girl. Come on.
Yeah. Wannabe.
That's.
I think my only, I don't know. I think when people criticize Rocky's writing of women, I honestly think the only bad examples are maybe Arena and Suzy Q, but Arena kind of gets a better.
Arena gets upgraded immediately when part 2 starts.
When she's an older woman, but Lisa's super cool.
Because you start hearing the fact that Arena, literally have to step up.
But at the same time, I think the fact that
she's a tough old woman.
Arena's super cool when she trains Joseph and
Lisa. Lisa trains Joseph and Sheezer.
Yeah, but I think part of the problem with her character is that Cars takes her out too quickly, but at the same time Cars is kind of it's here's the thing, Cars is Lisa suffered what people call the Worf syndrome, which is named after the character Worf in Star Trek Generations, which is, look how cool Worf is. He's a Klingon, but he's on the good guy side. But then to show how powerful another character is, let's take out Worf to show hey, even it's sort of like when you have a powerful character.
And it's like Piccolo, where check out how cool Piccolo is. He's pretty matched with Android 17 after absorbing Kami, or he's pretty on par with second form Frieza.
Yeah,
and then the minute Goku and Vegeta
it's essentially it's the idea of introduce a powerful character. How do you show another character is more powerful, or a villain is more powerful? You use them to pretty much wimp out the more powerful character, and that way you can let the less powerful characters get stronger.
And therefore, third form Frieza kicked his butt.
Yeah, so essentially that's what happens to Lisa, which always sucks. And then part 3 doesn't really have that many strong female characters outside of Mariah.
Nobody. Even then, Mariah was fodder.
I'm always gonna have problems with with the Egypt arc, the Egypt arc stand users, because in my opinion, they suck. They're not as mobile or independent as the ones before them. They have to. They're so situational.
Freaking Anubis and the stupid
Anubis is actually good. Anubis, Nadul, Endul.
And Nadul is iconic, but he's also the first one we meet.
Yeah, and Anubis, Endul, and that's pretty much it. All the other guys are not that good. You have to be in situations
Hey, but at least Vanilla Ice kind of made up for it.
Oh, sorry, Vanilla Ice is very good. He's stupid good. I mean, it's a miracle that Polnareff and Iggy beat him. But not
Polnareff wrecked him.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
I mean, honestly, the only way Polnareff even beat him was because he figured out he's a vampire.
Polnareff tricked
and Vanilla Ice was too dumb to realize he was a vampire. But anyways, back to part 5. So, how do you feel about that family dynamic? Do you think it's correct?
That's correct. It's super correct.
To assume that Abacho and Bruno are mom
if
and
anything,
dad?
If anything, Araki likes to do this with secondary characters. He didn't do this with I feel like it wasn't as strong as part 3 or part 4. I feel like this part 5 probably started this trend. Secondary characters generally take the front seat to the main characters. Just generally with part 3 and part 4, it'd be Josuke and Jotaro driving the car. But now with part 5 and 6, generally characters like Hermes or Bruno are driving the car while the main characters are in the passenger seat for this time around.
Oh yeah.
And especially this is prevalent part 7.
Yeah. Part 7 specifically is I mean, you have deuteragonists, which are you have 2 protagonists in that one. It's all about both of their adventure, but at the same time you have time to like check out, hey, here's what Lucy's doing, because she's important too.
What's the lipstick chick?
Hot Pants?
Yeah, what's Hot Pants up to?
Yeah, here's what Hot Pants is up to.
Here's what that Coach Diego's up to.
Yeah, I hated when the Hot Pants died. She was so cool.
Who's the best? This is my own personal question to you. Who's the best Dio incarnation or iteration?
I like Diego because he turns into dinosaurs.
But you have to remember, there's two Diegos.
I'm not a big fan of like Diego from Another World because it's literally just Dio from Part 3. But not a vampire.
You could be like Saber, who loves Part 3 Dio, because Part 3 Dio's...
He's pretty damn powerful. Like, anyways, but,
Swole.
Okay, yeah. So, there's that. What about... Okay, third question. How do you feel about, the level of intelligence? I mean, I said they're dumb kids, but so let's go into that. How do you feel about how smart the characters are in this one?
I mean, yeah, it's evident that Bruno and Bocce are pretty damn smart because they have to be. They have to be.
Yeah.
But it made sense why characters like Mista, Narantia, and like Giorno aren't very smart. I mean, first of all, Giorno thinks the gangsters are a bunch of Robin Hoods, and Mista and Narantia...
Okay, I think Giorno's misguided, but I think he's also pretty smart because come on, the whole test he had against Black Sabbath was pretty damn smart.
He's a good strategist, just but smart's a street.
It's part of the JoJo bloodline.
Yeah, I mean that's just a JoJo thing. You're excellent strategist because Joseph is a god.
I already figured it out. I had this trap set all along. You fool!
What the heck, Joseph?
And then Jotaro's just like, I'm gonna punch my way through it. You fool!
At the same time, they're like, you can't punch your way through this. He's like, watch this.
Watch this. I figured it out.
And then with Josie, it's like...
Actually, Jotaro's pretty smart. Like
he is. He's super intelligent.
Yeah. Except he couldn't beat a rat. Josuke, this is up to you.
Okay, there's so much debate between whether or not he actually could beat the rat or not. He probably could. He just had to like motivate Josuke.
Yeah, there's room for that. Okay, how smart do you think Josuke is?
He's directly like Joseph's son, and Josuke himself does have a lot of genius moments, like the whole phone thing, the whole like Kira and the phone thing.
Yeah.
And how he's pretty much like, okay, let's trick Kira into blowing up his own dad, essentially.
Yeah.
Which was pretty damn genius.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
And then of course, I mean, at the same time, like Jotaro is also like a lot of the driving force in it too. But I feel like Part 4 really downplays Jotaro.
No, I mean, to be
First of all, 2-second time stop. The fact that his solution to beating sheer heart attack was punching a bunch anyway, which I hated.
To be fair, you don't know how it works. And, like,
at the same time, like if this
also
was a part
punching stuff
generally works for him.
Generally works, so it's not his fault.
Also, come on, they nerfed the time stop, which is.
But I mean, but it also makes sense considering that Dio's was getting longer because of how powerful he was and the fact his endurance as a vampire is.
But at the same time, Jotaro could have stopped time for 5 seconds back in Part 3.
He was young, and plus, I mean, if he kept practicing with it and using it for like more, I don't know, for more practical things, it would have made sense. I don't know, like there's a lot of things that like.
Probably, it's just again, it's another Rocky retcon thing.
Yeah. It's not that it's retcon. He just said like, "Oh, I haven't used time stop, so I just gotten worse with it."
I wonder how much time stop could have saved him back in his education days. I know.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Like, if I were Jotaro, I would have used time stop all the time for stuff, man.
What's that? You're about to miss a train.
Like, here's the thing. Like, if I were Jotaro, I would have used time stop for so much, and
that 5 seconds could have saved so much.
It would have never gone down to like 2 seconds. Trust me. Okay.
2 seconds.
All right. What about
It made sense why Narantia and Mista are pretty dumb kids. Yeah. They never go to school anyway.
Yeah, Mista's lazy.
Mista's lazy.
Narantia's literally a street urchin.
So it made sense why they're dumb and they're they're street smart, obviously.
Yeah.
But some people have to say that's debatable too. Narantia's a big dumb boy.
But at the same time, Giorno came up with the idea of let's steal 100 cars. They'll never catch us then. Fugo's like I think
Fudo's a college-educated gentleman.
who just dropped out because he just like I could probably make it off like if I just joined the mafia, you know.
And then he's literally just like, I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight my own boss. All right.
I mean, even though Fudo could have like taken down Diavolo.
Maybe. Do you think King Crimson could have beaten Purple Haze?
I think if Fudo was genius enough, the minute that Diavolo would show up, he would have activated his haste stuff, and he probably, like, even though Fudo probably could have died, but Diavolo would have died as well. Fudo could have essentially Chaozu'd himself, but it would have been successful.
Yeah.
Or Vegeta too. I don't know.
All
How
right.
come every time someone blows himself up in Dragon Ball to save
Chaozu.
people? How come every time people pull a Chaozu in Dragon Ball, it never works? What was Majin Vegeta's thing?
That's a good question. Like, such a dumb move, Toriyama.
But
But I guess it's meant to like, it's meant to show how powerful the villain is, but it's also meant
such
to like
a
raise.
waste of a character, though.
But it also raises the stakes.
And well, at the same time, it's also Vegeta needed his redemption.
Yeah. So it's a waste of a character, but it's also just meant to show like how powerful something is. So it's a big stakes raiser.
Anyway, next question.
Okay. Question 4. Where does Diavolo stand on your villain scale?
I love Diavolo because he's such a King Crimson. Because he is such a weirdo. He was Doppio the whole time,
Okay,
but then he talked to himself as Doppio, as the boss through the phone, even though he is Doppio anyway.
Okay, actually, here's a better question.
Diavolo's a messed up character as well.
Yeah, I know that, but like, here's a better question. Are you tired of the stupid phrase "it just works"?
I am.
Because here's the thing.
Honestly,
like the
X-Forts and J-Love, whatever his name is, all the three trifecta of JoJo content creators have ruined that for me. And I honestly, personally, I don't like you fools. I don't like a lot of anime channels.
Here's the thing I learned. The whole 5-second erase, the time erase, and moving around through erase time, it's not that it doesn't make sense, just that it actually does make sense, and I think we've blown.
You just explained it.
You've blown.
Diavolo erases time and moves through the erased time. Diavolo erases time, but only he remembers it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I don't know why people have blown this whole like it doesn't make sense. It just works out of proportion. Like, it's just like either you people are dumb, or like it.
Also, maybe I'm biased because Saber claims that my stand is Team Crimson because, as he says, I've retconned many things in Mule Boy. For example, what happened to that coffee? What happened to that Starbucks coffee I had on the desk in the nutting episode?
But yeah, I mean, like,
What happened to John?
I'm tired of like that whole like King Crimson's power doesn't make sense, or it just
makes
works.
sense.
It makes sense. Like,
You know what's something that doesn't make sense? Bites the Dust in retrospect. Bites the Dust should not work at all.
I hate the fact that like it kills people even regardless of whether or not they're even there or they repeat the same action, because again it's a Rocky's way of like, he's so overpowered. They'll never figure out a way to be. Oh shit!
But at the same time, like,
The kid beat him.
at the same time, it's like Bites the Dust doesn't fucking make sense a lot of times.
Well,
It's like,
here's the thing,
it's literally like, I'm gonna hold the nurse hostage, so bite the dust and trigger. But how does it trigger? Because he tells the person his identity. But the main characters already know who he is.
He implants his identity, and then like
Then
I don't know if that would have worked actually. It probably wouldn't have worked.
Kira.
It doesn't matter. He's dead.
Kira, honestly, Bites the Dust was super just situational and honestly worked for that one thing. Kira did not plan out for.
Here's the thing, like, all these powers work for the person that they work for. For example, like, all of Kira's abilities work for a serial killer who does not want to be found.
Do you think Diavolo's time erase skip thing?
It works for a paranoid schizophrenic,
Which is what he is.
like, weirdo. I'm not gonna say schizophrenic because he's not schizophrenic.
He's just a paranoid weirdo.
Paranoid guy with
He's Nitzen.
with a dissociative disorder.
Nitzen probably would have had King Crimson.
He would have either had King Crimson, or he would have either had Kira or
No, he would have had King Crimson. He was a paranoid psychopath.
Yeah, but at the same time, he wanted to get rid of people.
Exactly. King Crimson.
Yeah, but the King Crimson doesn't erase people. He erases time, and in the events that occur within that.
Remember how Bruno half died?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense.
All right, okay. How do you feel about the whole Bruno being half dead?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay. Do you feel? All right. Here's a real question. Number 5. How do you feel about Gold Experience Requiem? Most overpowered stand, or most bullshit overpowered stand, or what?
It's bullshit overpowered stand, but it's super. You could say it's again. When people get buffs, it's a situational buff of they need this power now, which is how the stand arrow works anyway. Kira, he needed a way to hide his identity for that moment. The stand arrow granted him the wish. For example, Requiem was just how do I stop Diavolo from triggering his own power? Literally retconning a retcon, the retconning machine. So I don't know. Again, Requiem could also work against other people, but at the same time, just the way it works and the way it is literally just to stop King Crimson. So is he overpowered? He is. I mean, Requiem grants him speed and strength of I don't even think Jotaro himself or even Josie can compete with him.
Does Giorno keep the Requiem? Is Requiem temporary, or does he now have Requiem forever?
According to Rocky, Requiem was only temp.
Oh, that sucks.
Because honestly, Giorno would have felt Requiem activate.
What would have happened with Silver Chariot Requiem then?
It reverted back. Remember, it reverted back.
No, it doesn't. They kill Silver Chariot at the end.
Oh yeah.
Bruno destroys Silver Chariot.
Oh yeah, that's right. I know
he did it.
But Iraqi's dumb because all mangakas are dumb because they retcon everything. Where's Launch? Where's Poir?
Oh.
Where's Torin? Huh? Where's all these Dragon Ball characters? And then here's the thing: they kill Silver Chariot Requiem, but Iraqi himself states that Gold Experience reverted back to its normal form.
So they just wait. Well, no, because waiting would have been dumb too, because they would have done the whole stupid body switch thing. How sad were you when Narazia died? Okay. I'm gonna bump this to the 6 questions briefly because I got one more question.
Is it Destiny?
Yes, it's a question about that. Of the characters who died in Vento Ario, who are you most sad to see go?
Personally, Bruno. Because again, I like Bruno a lot.
He's awesome.
And the fact that again, he's half dead. Which again, kind of softens the blow a bit. There wasn't a death.
Here's the thing: when he finally does die, though, he's just I realize I've been dead the whole time. His speech, though, is so good. His speech is really good, and that's part of the emotional impact. So you weren't
the blow was softened like a punch in the chest, and then punch in the arm, and then his speech about him being already dead. Omewa mo shinderu. Yeah. Was pretty much a punch to the nuts.
So you weren't bummed out when Narantia died, and then
not too much.
His body turned into plants.
Actually, yeah, that was really just kind of
a little poetic sad.
That was a poetic sad moment. That was a Rocky.
What about when Abaccio died, and he's just
Abaccio's death probably affected me more than Narantia's. Because again, Abaccio was cool, and Narantia was just a big dumb idiot. I mean, I still like him. Just he's a lovable big dumb idiot. But
I like how Aerosmith could be really powerful. But Rocky balances it by having it be super inaccurate. And
he also gives it to a big dumb idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it makes... I like how Rocky stands makes sense within, the character's concept. Characters, personality, just okay, Narantia can have the mini fighter jet, but... the mini fighter plane, but he has to be... He can't aim for shit with it, or the thing... can't be accurate, and he's got to play up close with it. So it's or how
Little Bomber,
or how fucking Miss the Stand Sex Pistols is weird because it should work like the Emperor, but it's literally just
that's.
Here's the thing.
I really like that fight. Whether or not which is the better stand, Emperor or Sex Pistols.
Here's the thing. Okay, the Emperor works, but it has a range. If you're out of the Emperor's range, you're cool. But
I think.
And if
I mean,
Mista was smart enough, he could.
I think the entire horse could win. The entire horse could win against Mista if he had the Hangman assist.
No, but but like.
But solo Mista could probably beat him.
Because Mista has to be smart enough to realize, like, one, my actual physical bullets, because one, it works in conjunction with his pistol. Two, like, his pistol's a snub nose, so therefore it's not built for long range, it's built for close range. But in combination with Sex Pistol, he can divert it and like increase its power by like aiming it at like from a long distance.
At the same time, the minute like whole horse literally just Emperor and then. So maybe whole horse.
He can dodge it, but then like again, also, but at the same time, whole horse isn't that good at controlling it either. I mean, okay, to be fair, he's good enough to like control it through a bunch of pipes. To like.
I think he has better control over Emperor than Mista does have over his pistols, though. Because Mista has a setup.
Mista has a setup at the same time, like.
And whole horse literally during his setup time to just like.
How many shots does the Emperor have?
Infinite.
Oh, does it?
He never reloads, remember?
Oh yeah, but how many bullets can he control at one time though?
One.
So Mista.
If Mista decides to unload his whole clips and have it diverge into like the direction of whole horse, and whole horse would die. But if whole horse literally just aims for the head, like literally, because here's the thing, Emperor literally whole horse has to think like aim for head, and the Emperor bullet will go for the head.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is like Mista is also like more confrontational. He's more direct, so it's like if he plays aggressively against whole horse, then whole horse plays defensively.
When it's turned into an Edsports video.
You're right. We better stop. Well.
Anyway, that's a topic for another day. JoJo Dream matches. Well, actually, never mind. If you guys want to see that, go on Edsports channel.
I watch any motherfucker who talks about JoJo that isn't us.
I don't know why.
We're super bitter about like animation channels. Honestly, both animators and people who talk about animation.
Here's the thing. I only like a couple anime channels, mostly because like they keep their heads down a lot. I mean, they're not Digibro level. For example, I like Swag Kage. He's pretty much a Tisaragi clone. He literally sound the same.
Go on.
I think Seth the Programmer breaks things down way better, and when he collaborates with people, it's super funny to like hear their opinion too. Also think Geekdom 101, despite his name, is pretty funny. I think Danny Big D Rodriguez is a cool guy.
I think for me, all the best channels are the ones that like put more effort and have a more like professional, more appealing like. Because like all the
again, you'd probably like. I'd recommend maybe Seth the Programmer like.
Because I can't think outside of Rebel Taxi, I can't really think of any animation channel that I like to listen to.
Personally, I think if you want to like listen to something that if you want background sound and you're gonna vaguely listen to it,
and like and honestly, the only reason I like Rebel Taxi is because he puts in the work, but he also puts in like he's got really good production value. You know, even when he like is lazy about it, he's still pretty good. But I mean, outside of that, he's just kind of like every other one, just like it's just like a super, just like one super opinionated, like failed animation student. So,
I mean, his Rebel Taxi is,
I guess.
But except he's gone past his bitterness. You can tell.
Yeah.
Because in his early videos, he was extremely bitter about animation stuff, but nowadays he's just kind of very passive.
Yeah, which is fine. He's grown up. But yeah, okay. I mean,
honestly, if you want to know Dragon Ball stuff and you just want to like have in the background noise, just background noise, and you're gonna vaguely listen to it, Seth the Programmer's your guy.
Right on. I'll give him a listen to. Because I mean, if you and I are on the same page and a bunch on all those like JoJo content guys and Digibro,
I think Edsports and Medi, not the bad guys, are the worst ones. Caleb,
is Medi the one that has the chocobo as? No, Medi is the one with
Shimoneta.
With a Shimoneta, which bugs me the hell.
It's a stupid shit.
Which one's the one who has Caleb. Caleb.
No. The Moogle one is RPG Monker, who's not even an RPG player. Cock.
I don't like his voice. Just like he lisps too much.
Guys, don't understand my hatred for My Little Pony. But who could forget the Digibro classic? How AMV Hell 3 changed my life.
Hey, shut up about A and B healthy. That changed my life too. How old is Digi, bro?
Your age.
Then he knows. He knows the truth.
Honestly,
Dude, do not fuck with me about A and B health. That was my childhood. That was my adolescence.
so with all the police guys. Anyway, the funny thing is, alright, so I'm gonna let you know it's on a pro street like Discord tech, Street Fighter tech. You only hear from me. Digi, bro, if you want to know a good representation of what Lycan Jones looks outside of his lycanthrope form, think Digi, bro, but he
Less fat.
less fat, more Hispanic, wears glasses. I don't know. I think that's a honest. That's you almost got Lycan Jones in his human form.
Yeah. Anyways, it's good. We jolly good podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm out of here. I got an appointment for 3:00.
All right. See you, boys. Stay frosty.
Do you still have that?
No, I didn't. I never got that one.
Oh.
Yeah.